This is the most important video I will ever make about tanking in World of Warcraft. This is going to be a masterclass, pretty much in everything you need to know in order to understand the tank role of World of Warcraft. Now, I'm going to make a simple version that I will post publicly to my YouTube for everyone to have access to, because everybody should have access to this information, but I will post the extended version with actually showing examples of pretty much every single tank and what I would do differently on every tank and how to understand them on the Patreon. That will be exclusive content there. Let's dive into it. I'm really excited to get into this. I have been meaning to make this video for a solid year and I just haven't gotten around to it. So this is the time. This is the time. This is what you need to know. Here are the 3 things you need to know as a tank in World of Warcraft. When you start a pull, you need to think about 3 things. Number 1, aggro. How are you going to actually obtain threat on the mobs? Number 2, positioning. How are you going to get to the pull and actually get everything sorted? And number 3, making sure you don't die. This is an obvious one, but some tanks forget it. So here's what we're going to go through. I'm going to start my 18 Gambit, and we're just going to full send it. All right, I'm going to start this and I'm going to show you this in practice and talk you through what I would think about in every single key that I would ever do. So we're just going to full send it. You ready? Let's go. When I start this 18 Gambit, I'm obviously alone. I'm thinking about the 3 things. Number 1, how am I going to get threat? I'm thinking about how can I get threat? Now my DPS are going to hit the mobs, so I need to get there fast. The very first thing I'm thinking is how quickly can I get to the pack? So I'm going to use any mobility tool I have. As a warrior, I would have charge. As a druid, I have wild charge. I'm going to tag this, but before I move on, I have to thrash. This is the guardian druid threat problem. Before I move on, I'm going to tag things, but I immediately need to thrash. This is how I would do it on guardian druid. You see how I have thrash taking on everything? No, I do not lose threat. I have not hit swipe a single time. At 0 point in this pull, am I going to lose threat? Because I have thrash ticking. I know that as a guardian druid, this is how I obtain aggro. Now, as a warrior tank, I would have to do it differently. As different tanks, I would actually have to play this slightly differently. As a brewmaster, I would do it this way. As a prot warrior, I would do it this way. But it also varies pack to pack, and we'll talk about that later. I'm going to let myself die here so I can show you again. That's the first thing, is aggro. If I do not obtain aggro, then we're going to wipe the key. Because somebody is going to be hitting this. Somebody's going to want to be building resources or whatever. How can I get there quickly? But the next thing I'm going to think about is how can I position? So as a guardian druid, I have the luxury of being able to position kind of freely. Other tanks don't have that luxury. I'm thinking, cool, I want this pack, I want this pack, and I want this pack. There are 3 different packs here. In what order should I pull them? Good question. What is my team going to hit first? My team is going to hit, if I'm doing an 18 or even if I'm doing a 12, I as a tank control that. So if I go left, my team is going to hit the left pack first. If I go forward, they're going to hit this pack. My team, even in a 10, are not going to start hitting the left mobs if I go forward because I'm going to telegraph it. Now you might be saying, hold up, wait a second. You haven't seen my plus 10. Here's why. You're going too slow. If you go too slow as a tank, your team gets confused and they're itching. Your DPS, they just want to zug. Man, they're DPS players. They're DPS players. They just want to zug. And the other thing is that if you don't gather successfully following the 3 rules that we're going to talk about, then your healer is also going to panic. If your healer heals you during a gather, they will get healing threat. So you need to have a plan when you gather as a tank. Yes, tanking is an involved role, but it's not that hard. What you need to understand is the 3 concepts. So first thing, how can I get there quickly and get aggro? I know I'm going to use my mobility, as I mentioned, this. Now, the next thing is how can I position? If I'm thrashing these mobs, I can't just wait here and then just turn around and then kind of willy-nilly go like this, and then I'm just going to like maybe go here. Again, now I'm not focusing on the aggro because my DPS is hitting that, but I don't have thrash ticking, so I'm going to lose aggro. And then I'm going to walk back like this, and then I'm going to walk around like that. I'm going to die. I don't have a plan. I haven't obtained the plan and the routing. This is the second thing. I need to get there efficiently. So once I've obtained threat on this pack, I'm thinking, great, I don't want to get meleeed. I don't want to take that many things. So if I know I'm going here first, how can I get the rest of these packs gathered without taking melees? This is the question. And here's how we're going to answer it. I'm thinking, great, this pack I can tag from range, and I want to gather right on that marker. And I do the same thing in every single gambit I will ever do. No matter what tank I'm playing, you will watch me and I gather it on exactly the same spot. I know that the circles on the ground are harder to see in the water. So I don't want to gather it in the water, but also look at this spot right here. This is central. And I'm going to go over this again in the more exclusive Patreon thing. And I will put up world markers and I will show you very directly. If there are 3 packs, I need to gather in the middle. I know which pack I'm going toward first. A Guardian Druid is capable of doing it this way. Other tanks would have to think about it a little bit more. Wild Charge, go here, get my mitigation up. Thrash, immediately turn, use my Stampeding Roar. By the time I'm here, watch how I'm not running over here. I would tag this with a Moonfire and let it come to me because I'm fighting the pack now and I've got my mitigation up. I'm not going to take extra melees on the gather. Now, that was actually suboptimal. What I just did just now was suboptimal. Remember how I said I was going to gather it right here? I went too close to this other pack. I went too close, so I actually did take a few melees, which caused me to use my damaging abilities early. I had to pop my Incarn a little early, I had to pop my Lunar Beam a little early, therefore resulting in a slightly suboptimal damage loss for Guardian Druid. Other tanks have it slightly differently. Okay, now the third thing I have to think about, right, is how can I live the gather? This is where it gets interesting. A lot of tanks make the mistake, I'm going to go in cat form and die, a lot of tanks make the mistake of saving their defensives. If you freak out your healer on a gather, then you will cause a cascading series of events where you have to slow down your gather because they'll rip threat, and then you have to go slower, and then you have to do this, and then the DPS hits it, and then they miss a kick, and then all this stuff happens. You as a tank are the leader of your group. Your pacing sets the group, okay? So I'm thinking every single tank has some ability to move quickly. As a DK, even if you're a very, very slow DK, I'm still thinking I want to gather right about there so I can pull this and I can pull this. I'm thinking, how can I use my grips? How can I use any ability that I have for mobility and ranged gathers? Some tanks are a little bit more friendly to this than others. There are also nuances. So the meta tank this season as a warrior, if you're playing in a very high key where you know your DPS are going to wait, you can gather slightly more efficiently and save a bit of time on the key. But if I'm in a pug, I know exactly what I'm doing on the warrior, which is actually going pack by pack and tagging. I will again show you that after this. But this is the synopsis. This is the basics, because I'm going to dive into this. This is going to be a masterclass. So this is just the first part of the video. Let's go over it one more time. How can I live? I'm looking at my own personal kit right now. I'm thinking as a Guardian Druid, I want to make use of my Bark Skin because this ability technically does the slightest bit of damage, but basically does no damage. And I want to save my Lunar Beam, my Incarn, my Rage of the Sleeper, if I'm playing it, until I actually get to the pull to maximize my damage. If you're ever doing very low damage on a Guardian Druid, it's probably because you're full sending your defensive abilities, which are also your offensive abilities, early because you're gathering improperly. Once again, the Giants padding back in. I want this pack. Watch. I go in, bear form, bark skin. I'm looking to get my first iron fur up immediately. I'm moonfiring this, and now I'm here. I'm letting this come to me. Wait, go. By the time I actually hit my abilities, look, everything is already to me. So I'm going to get 100% of my Incarn uptime, my Lunar Beam uptime, my Rage of the Sleeper uptime on this pull. Now, if I was playing a different tank, because this is for all tanks, okay? I'm going to let myself die. I won't use any abilities, go cat form. I would be thinking, great, as a warrior, I'm full sending my shield wall. As a paladin, I'm thinking about sending big buttons, potentially even my bubble taunt, just to ensure the aggro, the positioning, and that my healer doesn't have to worry about me. If I go into this pull and I take any amount of damage and my health bar drops to 20%, I'm freaking the group out. The group is going to react, and you as a tank, you're the rock. You're the stability. So you don't want your health bar to be doing that. I know as a Guardian Druid exactly how I do this. I also know how other tanks, I'm going to plan the same thing. My movement, you'll watch me, every single gambit run is consistent. That consistency is what drives performance as a tank. Okay, so that's the overview. This is the easiest tank to do this on. Let's get into the other tanks. As a reminder, if you like this content, I'm going to be making a ton more of it going into midnight. I'm super excited. I finally moved. I'm in a new house. I finally settled down. So I have time to make content for the game that I love, which is World of Warcraft. If you're interested in this, please like and subscribe. I'll be making a lot more. And if you want even more in-depth guides and how to set up your character, how to set up your bars, what keybinds you should use, what macros you should use, a lot of that's available in my Discord. But more importantly, I will be making exclusive content on Patreon from this point forward. So if you're interested in that, please go ahead and check that out. out if you'd like to support me there. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.